I don't remember too much about it, but it was a vert contest. So it was a best trick vert contest in Milwaukee. And it was a few months before the X Games, and it was the height of my, competing career, or whatever in the rollerblade industry, ASA tour. But I can't beat Eito Yasutoko on a vert in a best trick contest, So it was like, I mean, I could spin and grind, but I'm sure his double spin flip would beat me. So Sam Fogarty was like, "Hey, if you jump off the vert ramp onto the judges' tower, you could grind that rail and jump to the ground." And I was like, "Oh, I could. Oh, shit." So I tried to jump over it, and I made it over it, and I was like, "All right, it's on." And my plan was to gap, grind it, and then do a 15-foot gap to the ground, which would have sucked too, for my feet. But I was like, that might have beat, win the contest, even though it
Yeah.
wasn't on the vert ramp. I was mixing vert and street. So I gapped across. I landed on the rail, and as I landed, it bent. I didn't realize I should have checked the rail. And I went to grab the rail, and I missed my hands and went straight back about, 14 feet to my head, and my head spun all the way around. I knocked all my teeth out, and then I cracked my head open. I had to get stitches all through my head because it was like an uncertified helmet. I was completely unconscious for about 20 minutes, and
Whoa.
then they had to
20 minutes you
stretch
were
it.
knocked out?
That's
Yeah,
scary as hell.
I was out. I was out for a long time, and then the ambulance finally got there and took me off in an ambulance. And I guess people had got shot that night because it was a huge festival. So they didn't. The hospital didn't know what happened. They were just like, "Here's some ibuprofen, stitch you up, and see you later."
What?
So yeah, so because they were just like talking about partying, and so they didn't give me no pain stuff, which I don't like to take anyway. But so 800 ibuprofen, and I walked out the door, said hi to the guys at the bar. So when they did that little show on it, they acted like I showed up at the bar, but I wasn't. I was concussed. I just stopped by to let everyone know I was all right, and bloody face, no teeth, like whatever. Had like it was pretty crazy.
How,
And
how
then
many teeth did you knock out?
I had veneers done,
Hmm?
so I knocked four of the veneers completely out,
The
and
front
then
four?
yeah, all the
Oh,
front four,
man.
and then I ended up winning the X Games 2 months after that wreck.
That's incredible.
So it took me a while to like get my neck to move back and forth, and it still gives me problems to the probably this day from that wreck.
It's awesome to hear
That's like
stuff like
some motocross blading stuff, by the way.
yeah,
That's like some Moto X right there.
I was gonna say I just love hearing stories like that because I've seen so many people who skate or have tried to skate, they or not even just skating, anything else. They get hurt and then that's it. Like they're like, oh, I'm not doing that again. I got hurt. I don't want that to happen anymore. But like stories like you, where you like were knocked out for 20 minutes, knocked your teeth out, and 2 months later you win the X Games. Like it almost does like the complete opposite. Like you were super motivated to compete and win and still be on top of the game. I love that mindset in comparison to the other one where it's just like you make a mistake and you're like, okay, I learned my lesson. I'm not doing that again. But like you could tell the type of person you are by pushing yourself even more further through the pain, the injuries, just to be the best person that you can be. And I think that's awesome and shows a good like what kind of character you have.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was yeah, you can go either way with this. You could say, "Oh, I'm done," or and by the time a few months was up, my body was healed up somewhat, and it gave me motivation and also gave me the perception that it is danger. I mean, even more dangerous than you can think of, because
Yeah.
you flash death right there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you can't take skating for granted. You could always get hurt doing it. One of my worst injuries was I was just casually skating a grind box just really fast, and I smacked my face on the floor, knocked my teeth loose, like
oh,
had my face all messed up, and I was just from you're too comfortable. I feel like on like maybe sometimes you get too comfortable when you get hurt there too. But thanks a lot, Sam Fogarty. Thanks for the tip. Holy moly. That's
well, now it's cool because it's over with and it's a crazy clip. So
I want to ask that too. Did Sam say anything, or did you say anything to Sam after that injury?
he came to the hospital with me, so that was good.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a plus. He was trying to push you. That's
Yeah.
it. He was trying to push
Yeah,
you.
yeah. we always try to push each other, you know. That's how I love skating. Like, even though you want to do good for yourself, you're always rooting for your friends.
Definitely. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about skating, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the camaraderie there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. I want to talk about what do you believe in for a second, because as we know, like you and Arlo have had like a long lasting friendship from the early days. He was always, I think, I'm not sure if you guys met before the X Games, but he would always announce, and he might have dubbed you with the name The Monster. Is that true?
Yep, he gave me the nickname, and it was awesome because he was one of my idols growing up in skating, Arlo and Chris, and then to have him give me my nickname and announce for me was amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. He was like always such a huge advocate for you, and to see you going to do a street project, because I think especially at that time there was more of a distinction made between street skater or park skater, when I think now it more blends. And I think what do you believe in was one of the earlier things to make an effort towards showing that blend and showing kind of going outside the box in a way. So how did you end up getting involved in that project, and what was that experience like?
It was super cool. Like I said earlier, it was hard because I was competing so much and didn't get an opportunity to focus on my section. Um, Arlo just, I don't know exactly because it's been a while, but they just came up and said, I'm doing a video. Hey, would you like to be a part of it? There's only going to be like 5 skaters in it. Going to be theatrical stuff. We're going to do some different stuff. I was like, that's really cool. When I first showed up, Arlo had an idea where I fall asleep in the bathtub and I'm completely wet. So the first day of filming, my pants were completely drenched. My shirt was drenched. My hair was drenched. You couldn't tell my pants were wet. So like we skated the first trick, I 360 to Solar Rail and I nutted it so hard. I'm like, I can't skate in these pants, dude. So I got hurt the first second I tried to skate the section. So from that, starting that, I was already hurt, you know, and also had this, oh, you're only a ramp rider. So we got rid of the wet pants because you couldn't even see them on the film.
Yeah,
And so we drenched my shirt every clip, and my hair was drenched every section or every clip I tried to do. We'd keep drenching my shirt and my hair.
that's
So even
insane.
though you can't tell it was that in the video, I was pretty much drenched most of the section trying to skate. And Arlo's idea, I think it was to put some boards in there, which I got some slack, like, oh, you're a park skater, you have to put boards on the street. I'm like, dude, I don't need any of that. But you know, no matter what you do, you're always going to get slack from someone. And the whole bottom line is I just love to skate, so I didn't give a shit what people said about any of that. Um, but yeah, that video was really cool. So like I filmed a week or so or less, a few days, and then I had to fly to a contest, skate the contest, then come back for a couple of days, and that was it. That was my section pretty much. So
So that
I
was
think you did
Arlos.
I think you did a really great job with that part, and it was such
Yeah.
like an epic video to be a part of that. For me, that's up there with words and the USD coup d'état. It's just one of those pillars in skating videos. So to be a part of that, and it's also one of the few projects that's really conscious in its approach in terms of how you were saying theatrical. And I actually didn't know that you were. I know that some parts you were
Foundation
wet, like some
was. I don't
shots,
think that's
but I didn't
really
know that you were wet for a lot
too
of those
debated,
clips. I saw
honestly,
like you
but
like when
maybe
they
Yeah, I
it
didn't
is.
know
say
either.
Maybe it
They
is.
say
all
it
wet
too.
there. I
Todd
didn't
and
know,
Joe
but
both
I
say
didn't know
that
they
in
had you wet for
Atlanta.
every clip. That's kind of
Yeah, I
wild.
used to, so it wasn't
yeah,
like
it
anyone
was
just calling
weird.
him
I
out
was
for it.
like, and I'm just glad we got rid of
In
the
order
wet pants because
to,
that, that
Yeah,
trickle onto my
actually,
skate and it was just
you
heavy and
actually
didn't you couldn't
had to
tell.
hurry on
So
things.